Hi, this is Dr. Rajeshwar from YR PharmaTube. In the previous videos, we discussed the definition, scope, and different techniques of pharmaceutical analysis and the methods of expressing concentration. If you did not watch them, I have given the links below this video in the description. Watch them. In this lesson, I will tell you about primary and secondary standards. Upon completion of this lesson, you will be able to learn the definition of a standard, to explain its uses, to classify standard with proper examples, and to discuss various characteristics of standards. Standard and standard solution. To standardize an analytical method, we use standards containing known amounts of analyte. The accuracy of a standardization therefore depends on the quality of the reagents and glassware used to prepare these standards. For example, in an acid-base titration, the stoichiometry of the acid-base reaction defines the relationship between the moles of the analyte and the moles of the titrant. In return, the moles of titrant is the product of the titrant's concentration and the volume of titrant needed to reach the equivalence point. The accuracy of a titrimetric analysis, therefore, can be no better than the accuracy to which we know the titrant's concentration. Thus, the word standard means a material containing a substance of our interest with a known concentration. A standard solution is a solution of definite or known concentration or strength. The strength of a standard solution can be expressed in terms of either normality or molarity. For example, a solution of hydrochloric acid with a concentration of 0.1025 moles is a standard solution of hydrochloric acid. A standard solution can be prepared by dissolving a primary standard in a suitable solvent such as distilled water. By using this standard, we can find out the concentration of that chemical in a new material, a process called standardization. We divide analytical standards into two categories. Number 1, the primary standard, and number 2, the secondary standard. The primary and secondary standards are used to provide a reference substance using which we can determine unknown concentration. They are also used to standardize volumetric solutions in the preparation of secondary standards and to calibrate an analytical instrument. The primary standard. A primary standard is a soluble solid compound that is very pure with a consistent formula that does not change on exposure to the atmosphere and has a relatively high molar mass. In other words, a primary standard is a reagent for which we can dispense an accurately known amount of analyte. It is a compound of sufficient purity from which a standard solution can be prepared by direct weighing of a quantity of it following by dilution to give a defined volume of solution. A solution produced is then a primary standard solution. Primary standards are typically used in a titration to determine an unknown concentration and in other analytical chemistry techniques. The primary standard has certain characteristics such as it should be extremely pure, approximately 99.98%, which is of analytical reagent grade, highly stable, it is anhydrous, it is less hygroscopic, it has a very high molecular weight or relatively large molar mass, it can be weighed easily, it should be ready to use and available, it should be preferably non-toxic, and it should be inexpensive. In practice, an ideal primary standard is difficult to obtain and a compromise between the above ideal requirements is usually necessary. Let us try to understand each characteristic one by one. A primary standard material should be extremely pure, which means that it should be a chemical of high grade of purity, preferably 99.98%. In a chemistry lab, you will come across chemicals of different grades of purity. If you check the label, you will notice a number with the percentage termed as purity. So, when a chemical has purity of 99.98% or more, it is a suitable material to be considered for primary standard. Usually, those chemicals that exceed the requirement of American Chemical Society are extremely pure and can be used for making primary standard. It is an analytical reagent of extreme purity which is specially manufactured for the purpose of being used as primary standard. It should be highly stable, which means it usually does not react easily when kept in its pure form, or in other words, it should have very low reactivity. This is important because if a reagent reacts easily with atmospheric oxygen or water or changes its property over time, then it is unreliable. We can never use such unstable and unreliable chemicals as standard. It should be anhydrous, which means that it does not contain any water molecule in its molecular structure. For example, in a chemistry laboratory, you will come across the same chemical with a different number of water molecules attached with it. Let us see the example of Epsom salt. The chemical name of Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. So, we write the formula MgSO4. But the chemical Epsom salt, which is found in grocery or a drugstore, is a chemical with formula MgSO4 7 water. Therefore, if you want to prepare a primary standard of magnesium sulfate, you should purchase an anhydrous magnesium sulfate, preferably an analytical reagent grade chemical and with purity greater than 99.98%. Remember, such reagents are usually available with common vendors. Just being anhydrous is not sufficient. The primary standard should be less hygroscopic, that is, on opening the container, it should not absorb water molecules from atmosphere. Why water should not enter into chemical? This will be cleared in the following point, where it is explained how presence of water molecule can affect the simple calculation of standard concentration, making the entire standardization procedure unreliable. A primary standard should have high molecular weight compared to its other similar forms. If we take the same example of Epsom salt, you can understand this statement. Let us take 1 gram of MgSO4 fit for making a primary standard and we call it salt A. Now take 1 gram of MgSO4 7 water fit for common uses and name it salt B. Now compare the actual weight of magnesium sulfate to make a standard solution for both chemicals. The molecular weight of MgSO4 is 108, but for MgSO4 7 water it is 234. In case of one molecule of salt A, the weight of actual MgSO4 will be 108 atomic mass unit, but in case of one molecule of salt B, the weight of actual MgSO4 will be 108 out of its total weight of 234 atomic mass unit. 108 gram salt A, that is MgSO4, will give 108 gram of MgSO4. So 1 gram MgSO4 salt will give 108 by 108 is equal to 1 gram of MgSO4. But 234 grams of salt B, that is MgSO4 7 water, will give 108 grams of MgSO4. So 1 gram MgSO4 7 water salt will give 108 by 234 is equal to 0.461 grams of MgSO4. Therefore, if you by mistake make a standard out of salt B, you will actually be taking 0.461 grams of MgSO4 and calculating it as 1 gram. So, with this faulty standard estimation of MgSO4 in other unknown solution will give less result than the actual concentration. Therefore, it is important that primary standards must be anhydrous and of high molecular weight. A primary standard can be weighed easily because it is so pure that its weight is in fact a true representative of number of moles present in its actual weight. Lastly, the primary standards have to be ready to use and easily available and should be non-toxic and inexpensive. One of the uses of primary standard is to standardize a volumetric solution. That means they are used for standardization of titrations of various solutions. The table given here indicates the primary standards employed in various types of reactions. The secondary standard. A secondary standard is also known as a working standard. Reagents that do not meet the criteria of primary standards are called the secondary standards. A secondary standard is a substance which may be used for standardizations and whose content of the active substance has been found by comparison against a primary standard. It follows that a secondary standard solution is a solution in which the concentration of dissolved solute has not been determined from the weight of the compound dissolved but by reaction, that is a titration of a volume of the solution against a measured volume of a primary standard solution. Thus, they are used to calibrate analytical methods and also to calibrate analytical equipment. These solutions do not fulfill the requirements of a primary standard. A secondary standard is a substance which has certain characteristics such as it has less purity than primary standard, less stable and more reactive than primary standard, but its solution remains stable for a long time and it is titrated against a primary standard. Usually, a secondary standard is a chemical fit for being a standard chemical yet does not meet the requirements of a primary standard. The best example is anhydrous sodium hydroxide. It is extremely hygroscopic. As soon as the bottle is opened, sodium hydroxide starts absorbing moisture from atmosphere and within no time it becomes moist. You can experiment it in your lab. Take the sodium hydroxide bottle near to an analytical balance. Place a petri dish and make its weight as 0 by using the tare button on balance. Now open the container and place little sodium hydroxide crystals on it and quickly note the weight. Now keep the glass windows on the analytical balance open for few minutes and notice the gradual increase in its weight in terms of milligrams units. This is because the sodium hydroxide crystals absorb water molecule from air. Remember to use glass container such as a petri dish to weigh the chemical because sodium hydroxide is a corrosive for metal panel of balance. Another example is potassium permanganate, which is a good oxidizing agent. It is reactive and so less stable. More often, due to its reactivity, its own oxidized product manganese oxide contaminates the content. That is why it is unsuitable for being a primary standard, but it can be used very well as a secondary standard. Next question is, why is secondary standard called still a standard? This is so because secondary standard is used as a calibrator by smaller laboratories involved in actual analysis of unknown samples. Calibration is the process by which we compare the measurements by a standard or an instrument with another standard or instrument. By doing so, we try to eliminate any variation or difference in measurement by the secondary standard or an instrument. The other term for calibration is standardization. In a clinical laboratory, unknown samples are analyzed against control materials using a routine method. Let us compare the situation in a biochemistry laboratory dealing with human samples. Here, we often use the term primary and secondary calibrator instead of calling it primary and secondary standard. A primary calibrator is a preparation with a stated purity greater than 99.98%. The reference measurement procedure is calibrated with the primary calibrator. Using this reference measurement procedure, the Institute for Reference Materials and Measurements, abbreviated IRMM, determines the value of secondary reference materials. Even the companies which sell their kits and reagents to us use these secondary reference materials. So, their calibrator products are basically secondary reference materials. We use these secondary calibrators as a reference in our laboratories. The primary calibrator is used only by institutes like IRMM, which are involved in quality assurance at national level. For biological analytes, we can't prepare the secondary standard by dissolving the analyte in water. It is so because in our blood they are dissolved in plasma and not in water. For example, for plasma proteins, there is a human reference serum material which comes with a certificate of concentrations present for 12 serum proteins from IRMM. This is the flowchart summarizing the use of primary and secondary standards in a clinical laboratory setup. The table illustrates some of the important differences between a primary and a secondary standard. This is the list of references followed for the lecture. That's all in this video, the primary and secondary standards. In the next lesson, we discuss the preparation and standardization of various solutions. Till then, never stop learning and never stop watching my videos. Thank you for watching this video.